Hello everyone. Here's a quick recap of our workout from Monday. It's going to be a bit of a combination Monday, Tuesday. So in the Tuesday class, I introduced a little bit more band, elastic band. So I'll put them all together and you can pick and choose your favorites. And of course, do a warm-up before, and as always you want to combine an upper body, or you want to do an upper body then a lower body exercise and alternate so that you hit the whole body. All right, our first one is a lateral step. So an elastic band, you can place it around the feet, and from the get-go you're going to have a bit of tension on the band. You go into a hip hinge, so not a lot, almost like a mini squat. And what you want to achieve, and your knees are going to be a little bit bent, you want to have your knees over your toes at all times. So you want to be tracking over your toes. And you step laterally for as many steps. I don't have a lot of space here, but you keep tension on the band, and you step in a way that you track with your knee rather than putting the foot forward and first and then follow with the knee. So you step laterally, let's just say 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and take it back. And you can do 2 sets of these. And at the very end, you come right up, keep your core engaged, and you do a hip flexor march. So band stays around the feet, and you do up and down again for anywhere 8 to 10 on each side. And then you slip the band around the ankles, and one leg is going to be your support leg, so you bend the knee a little bit for extra stability of your hips. And you're going to kick, you can kick 2 ways, either straight back, so your kicking leg is going to be straight and you kick straight back, holding your balance. A bit of wobbling is okay, but you want to maintain stable hips so that you really feel your hips working here, especially gluteus medius. And then you can also do 45-degree kicks, in which case you're going to feel it even more in your side muscles there in your gluteus medius. So that was a first banded exercise. Then optional, you can slip the band up above the knees for the first exercise, which is a goblet squat. So holding the weight in front of your chest and bend, like I said, above the knees. Your feet are shoulder width apart with a bit of an angle, and you send your hips back with a straight back and core engaged, and come right up. And when you come right up, you want to give your glutes a little squeeze, but you don't want to squeeze so hard that you're coming into a hyperextension of the lower back. So you want to maintain your core engaged, right? So again, with or without weight, obviously with weight it would be more effective. You go down and come right up, and you want to maintain that core engagement, that area hip to ribs is nicely closed, and you work with strengthening the glutes as well as the core. So again, 8 to 12 reps of that. And our next one was a press up. You can do press up 2 ways. You can either do it so arms where they fall, not fully flared out. So you want to have your upper arms at a 45-degree or so with your torso, and you go one arm up at a time, or of course you can do them both at the same time. The important thing is to have your shoulders, again 8 to 12 reps, have your shoulders down, shoulder blades are stable, and you stabilize your hips by softening your knees a little bit, and your core is engaged. So whenever I say core engaged, what you want to think of is taking a breath in and quick exhale, so you really feel this abdominal wall tightening a little bit and stabilizing this area. Our next one was a curtsy lunge, which you can do with 2 weights or one that you hold in front. So curtsy lunges, you go to one side and then to the other. One thing to keep in mind, so you can go as deep as you want, and it'll be a great workout for your glutes. The important thing is to have your knee dropping. If you drop a line from your knee, it should be outside of your foot. And again, 8 to 12 reps on each side. Okay, our next one was rows. So for the rows, of course, if you have a bench at home, you can definitely do single arm rows. So you put one knee on the bench and the other leg is out. You make sure to stabilize your back, have a nice engaged core, and you bring one arm up, working with your mid-back muscles, right? So not just yanking the arm out. If you don't have a bench and you want to do an upright row, like we do it in class, then a hip hinge, so your back is straight, and you drop into this position almost like a ski jumping, and soften the knees a little bit, so your torso will be at an angle with the floor, and what's holding you is, of course, your glutes and a bit of that core engagement and your back muscles, but you shouldn't feel it in your lower back. And from here, on an exhale, we bring up the arms to a 90-degree angle, very close to the torso, making sure that you feel that space between your shoulder blades close nicely. So you want to feel your back muscles working. All right, our next one, which again, you can use optional band or no band, a bridge. So regular bridge, and again, you can always sort of improve or like add some variations to it. You can have a regular bridge with no band, or if you choose, you can have a band around, again, above your knees, tiny bit of tension because your feet will be somewhere hip width apart, shoulders are down, and your legs are 90 degrees, and your feet are flat on the mat. Almost think that you're grabbing the mat with your feet. And on an exhale, you lift. Again, you don't want to send it too high up. You want to bring it slowly to identify that sort of spot where your glutes are really engaged. Remember to have your feet, really firmly planted on the mat, and you'll feel a deeper engagement. And you bring it down to a hover and then up again. So soft tension on the band. And once you're done with your reps, 8 to 10 or 12, you hold it right there in the bridge and you do abductions, your chosen number of abductions. So taking the knees to the sides while keeping everything nice and steady. And that's a pretty intense work for your glutes. All right, our next one is a side plank, which can be done in two different ways. So in one class, I did a hip dip. So you want your shoulder under your elbow under your shoulder and your hand down on the mat, and you bring your hips up to find that side plank, your knee side plank. You can either do hip dips, that's what we did in our Monday class, or you can keep since you have the band on, either hold the plank, that's also absolute like solid work, or if you have the band and you want to extend one leg, keep everything steady and take the leg up and down for however many reps you want to do, and then you flip to the other side and you go again. All right, and our last one was right. So again, I did a bit of variation. So one for core engagement or for core exercises, abdominals especially. I'll give you 3 options here. So one is to go on your back, feet are on the mat, and you want to feel that abdominal engagement. So again, we use our breath. Breathe in, breathing out, you feel your core engaging nicely. So one foot stays on the mat, and you bring the other one up and down so quick inhale and exhale, lower it. So you can do this alternating for 10 or 12 between the two, right? Or you can take it to the next level, toe taps or heel taps, whichever works. You bring your knees up to 90 degrees in tabletop, your core is now has a more firmer engagement. And again, you lower it on an exhale. So as you exhale, you want to hold, again, we're talking about that space between ribs and hips. You want to hold it close, engaged. You don't want to send this movement into your lower back, and you don't want your hip flexors to take over. So you really want the abdominals to, you want to connect to feeling them work. And then another variation of this is bring the legs up to tabletop, bring your head and neck up so you're looking straight at your thighs, which decreases the tension on the neck. And then the same, either toe tap or heel tap as you exhale, controlling the movement. So if you feel like you're losing that engagement after a few reps, just stop it right there and start again. All right, and if you are ready to, or for the Monday class, we did a plank, an elbow plank with either, I think we did it with double knee taps. So find your plank, your forearms are parallel, and your feet can be slightly apart or together. And you want to find, you don't want your hips hiked up, you don't want them to be too low to feel that in your lower back. You want them to be where your core is really working hard. And again, you can just hold it, or you can do quick taps, keeping everything nice and stable and taking it to the number of reps. And of course, you end with a nice cool down and stretches, and see you next time. Bye.